All right, so I just lost my job today, and I thought to myself, what can I find that will just push me over the edge this Friday night? And an interview with our great MMA, UFC reporters and journalists. I think that's what will push me over the edge. So I went ahead and watched a great Sean O'Malley questionnaire presser. There's many of them out there right now. Seems like he's the only one doing them. And yeah, it's what I expected. Very great questions. That's sarcasm, and I'll even show you right here. I've listed down every single question timestamp. You could see right there it says Sean interview. There's about 40 questions in this little thing that I have timestamped of a stupid question, and there were only about 2 okay-ish questions. Everything else I can't even. So this is going to be a long one, guys. We're going to sit here. I'm going to give my reaction to these wonderful questions and see if I can push myself over the edge tonight. Yeah, great Friday today. So let's finish it off with a bang. And feel free to like and subscribe too. This will be my 4th video and maybe a last video for a while until I can get a new job, I guess. All right, so let's get into this.
First of all, fantastic outfit as always, Sean. When you joined the UFC and started the Sugar Show, as you said, you always pictured nights, I imagine, that shone out from the rest of the sport. Going into Saturday night, is this exactly what you sort of wanted to achieve in your fighting career, doing moments like this, which are one of one?
Hell yeah.
All right, the very first obvious question. Sean, this is a big event, maybe one of one. Are you excited? Did you always want to be here? And he's not going to respond, no, I want to fight at the Apex. He responds, as we predict.
This is exactly, yeah, looking back, 2017, 2018, I was on the undercard. Well, co-main event on my debut on a not so great card. But yeah, this is what I wanted. Something like this. Obviously, we didn't know the sphere was even a thing at those times, but I wanted one-of-one kind of moments, and this is it.
You have got to take a look inside the sphere, I understand, right? So
we skip ahead to 102.
Yeah. So once you did get to see that, you did get an idea of his vision for it, and then maybe this sort of co-headlining with the building itself became a bit more palatable to you?
Hell yeah.
All right, so Dana White showed Sean the sphere, not inside, but outside, and the reporter asks, did you get the vision of it? What do you think Sean's going to say? Yeah, you're correct. He's going to say, oh yeah, it's awful. I'm not hyped at all.
Dana gave me goosebumps just talking about it.
I was wrong. How was I wrong? How did I predict that wrong? Oh my God, he's actually hyped. Did not expect that. All right, we move on to 135 in the video.
You're also a guy who likes to sort of in-picture moments, right, that you achieve, whether it be a highlight fight finish or something like that. When you view your own walkout in this environment, how excited are you to be able to watch that back after the fight and sort of see that moment?
Sean, you have a walkout at a big event. Are you excited to watch that walkout after the event when you're at home on YouTube? Wouldn't that be cool? I bet he probably won't care. He probably will not care at all. Who cares?
For me, right now, it's like the sphere is going to be cool for everyone else but me. I have this, for me, it's tunnel vision. I'm walking to the cage. I'm doing what I have to do. I'll enjoy the show after. I don't let myself kind of think about all that. So for me, it's going to be, well, we'll see. Maybe it's going to be so crazy I'm going to have no choice but to look around. And I'll look around and take it in, but I'm not thinking about all the extra stuff.
Okay, good. Moving on.
Well, he didn't answer that properly. The reporter asked, do you want to watch it back and see how cool it is? Unless he was asking, are you going to look at the jumbo screen? But I don't think that's what he was asking.
Merab, then, I think he's one of those opponents that you sort of know what he's bringing to the table, right? He's going to spam takedowns. He's going to sort of throw a bit recklessly until he gets an opportunity to spam those takedowns.
So you go to 250.
having that style is either going to work for him or it's going to get him knocked out, and we get to find out in a few days.
What do you make of Merab as a person, right? I mean, Dana White sort of called him a moron the other day with the, some of the stuff he puts on social.
All right, so he asks Sean, what do you think of Merab as a person? I swear they always ask this question. They always ask, is it personal? What do you feel as a person? How is he as a person? And they always say, oh, it doesn't matter, it's another fight, or he's stupid. Let's see what he says. I predict Sean's going to say he's an idiot.
When you see that stuff on social, do you just see a guy who's trying to build his own brand, or do you see a guy who's making fundamental errors in what he's putting out there?
A little bit of both. Mostly stupidity. I mean, the dude jumped. He didn't know what ice was. He jumped. He didn't know if water got cold, that cold that it turned.
All right. He thinks Merab's dumb. Shocker. Let's get to the next amazing question at 3:22. We're making progress, guys. We're making progress.
I kind of going off of that. Merab has said like you've not wanted to fight him since 2018. You've said he has a punchable face. They show him on the countdown. He's like watching your fights. He's like, fuck this guy and everything. Is it personal between you, or is it just this kind of been building so much? You guys are.
Is it personal between you two? I literally just said this 10 seconds ago that this is what they ask. I didn't even know he was going to ask this next, and he asked this next. I can predict the future. Maybe I shouldn't be so worried about losing my job. I can predict the freaking future, dude. I can make millions with this gift.
Are tired of thinking about each other.
A little bit of both. I think it's definitely became more personal when I knocked Aljo out. So I think that kind of made it a little bit more personal. But then I started questioning their friendship in the first place because I knocked Aljo out, and it's like Merab's turn, but Aljo's like, no, I want a rematch. And I was like, I don't know if these guys are his friend. Then Merab going on and saying, no, I would have fought Aljo if UFC gave me a contract. So I don't really know what's going on there, but yeah.
We heard your coach say, it's hard to find guys that are like you to train with, to prepare for you. Did you have any difficulty finding guys like Merab in terms of like his size or his style of fighting?
Finding a short wrestler. How would that be hard to find a short, stocky wrestler like Merab? You go to your local high school, there's a bunch.
No, not really. I mean, you're never going to find someone exact for anybody. Everyone's got their own styles, but we were able to find some shorter guys that were able to come in and shoot on me during sparring. So overall, I was very, very, very happy with how sparring went and with how camp went and all.
Have you heard what, like, when Henry's saying, he's heard that you're having trouble getting off your back and everything? Is that just Henry talking, or what's he going off?
Well, you saw me roast.
I don't mind
guy,
that question. He's asking about, is your back actually hurt? That's what Henry said. I don't mind that question. But we'll skip to the next dumb question here. That was one decent question out of like 6 bad ones.
Cardio doesn't mean anything when you're KO'd in the second round. So is that your official prediction for Saturday, second round knockout?
All right, he's asking Sean, is a knockout your prediction? No. Sean's going to say, I'm taking him to a unanimous decision. Better yet, I'll take him to a split decision. Actually, I'll submit Merab. Yeah, he's going to say he's going to knock him out. That's my prediction. Let's see.
I mean,
actually, I change it. He's gonna DQ lose the match. That's what he's gonna say.
Could be first, could be second. I could knock out Merab first, second, third, or fourth. Or
fuck. All right, I take that back. I don't think I can predict the future. I did not expect him to say, "Yeah, I'm gonna knock him out."
Fourth or fifth. But I'm leaning towards the second a little bit.
What was it like training with the Cardinals? We saw you with Kyler Murray
Oh
doing
my
some
God.
drills out there.
Damn, that was fun. Childhood dream.
All right, All right, guys. To be completely honest, I am doing a little bit of over exaggeration, but this reaction here was genuine. This question, I totally forgot about this stupid question. How was it like training with the Cardinals? Who cares? Who cares? He's gonna say it was cool. It was his dream as a kid.
First love, first dream was to be in the NFL. Like, football was my favorite sport, and so to be able to go and do that was a dream come true.
Sean, right over here.
Oh,
Andres
no.
from ESPN.
Oh no.
We all know that Conor's been like the biggest star in the UFC, but should you perform?
Oh, here we go. Another comparison to Conor McGregor. For some reason, since 2018, 2017, they love comparing Sean O'Malley to Conor McGregor. I don't know why. Because he's a striker? because he's near the featherweight division, because he's, I guess, popular, even though by his drawing pay-per-view numbers, he's not really.
Think you're going to do on Saturday night? How close do you think you are to getting to that level of star power?
How close? Oh, I think Sean is going to say I'm not going to get close at all. If he was being realistic, he's going to say I'm not going to get close at all. I'm just middle of the road. You cannot beat Conor McGregor, not even close, especially with my kind of talk, my stoner talk. Let's see.
Yeah, yeah. I think I'm very close. I think Conor's still got one more big fight in him because there's a big question mark. Like, what?
Wrong again.
Can Conor come back? Can he actually beat Chandler? So I think Conor's got one more huge fight in him. He goes out there and loses his next fight, it'll be like 6 in a row or something. Like it's got to die down eventually. Maybe not. That just tests how big of a star he is. But I would assume he goes out there. If he loses, I'm there. I'm the guy.
No,
I'm
you're
the
not.
number one.
No, you're not.
Coming off of that, what do you bring that's unique that Conor doesn't bring? Like, what do you think your appeal is to fans, not just of MMA fans, but fans?
He brings nothing else that's new. All he's gonna say is I fight more and win.
Fans that are casual fans of the sport.
I bring fights. I fight often. So I think that's what it is right now.
And guys, I know I've watched this before, but even if I didn't watch this and this was my first time reacting to it, I would still predict these 90% accurate or more. The thing, it's just with questions, you want them to ask questions that you genuinely want to know the answer to. Like when he asks, is there something wrong with your back? Even though we know Sean's he's gonna lie even if there is something wrong with his back, but it's still a question that we might get a true answer from and an interesting answer.
Conor was good on the mic. The accent, the words that he chose, he was very good on the mic. Performances, he had a couple good performances.
He had more than a couple good performances. He has more than 2 wins in the UFC, and they were all mostly good performances. The only I thought the Mendez performance wasn't that good. I thought he had the Diaz loss. The second Diaz fight, he was doing very well. He knocked down Diaz a bunch of times. He just gassed out, but he pulled it off. But every other fight in the UFC, besides the Khabib mauling, if you watch his earlier fights against Holloway, Marcus Brimage, Jose Aldo, Jose Aldo's a little bit later, he had more than 2 good performances. A couple is 2.
But I'm consistent right now. I'm fighting a lot, so that's what I bring.
Last thing for me, I know there was a time that you talked about boxing. Have you pushed that to the back? Are you still considering one day to get into the boxing ring?
All right. Not only is it personal, how are you to Conor McGregor? We get the good old, what about boxing? You going to boxing? Sean O'Malley is going to say, yeah, I want to go to boxing because I want to make $50 million in one night from just boxing.
Someday. Yeah. Right now, it's not a focus at all. Like, Merab's the focus. I have big fights after. I mean, I've said...
Dana White learned from the Mayweather-McGregor fight. McGregor never fought that much after that fight, and he never won again, except for the Cowboy fight, which was a little bit fixed. But Dana has made a point not to let his fighters box again. He would not let Ngannou box. He will not let Sean O'Malley box. I guarantee you. He will do whatever contract shenanigans he does to get his fighter, his star, to not fight in boxing.
Ilya, I've said Max, there's Umnar, there's Figgy. There's a lot of options for me right now that I don't think it's that time. But there will be a time when it's, Conor Floyd was requested by the fans. There's gonna be, if I go out there and keep knocking people out, it's gonna be intriguing.
Sean, over here. What are your thoughts on Merab embracing the Mexican fans and culture these past couple of months? Do you think that's more of a promotional move by him to just try and get people to sway towards him?
No, of course that's not a promotional move by him. Merab has been Mexican his whole life, and now that he's at a Mexican-themed event, he wants to reach out his heart to the Mexican people. Of course that's to just get the Mexican fans to his side. Why else would he be doing it? This is something we don't need to know. And this is before Sean's going to get asked, are you Mexican?
Yeah, the dude pretends to be Georgian, then he pretends to be American, now he pretends to be Mexican. He's all over the place, but he's doing his best. Can't hate on it.
And I know obviously a big focus not only on the fights but the Sphere. I mean, I'm sure you heard a lot about that already. But
Did.
being back in Vegas for you, I know Vegas has always been a city you like to fight in, and you wanted to be on last December pay-per-view. So I guess how does it feel for you just to be back in Las Vegas?
God,
There it is. There it is. Boys, I hope you're still watching. If you made it this far into the video, God bless. But this is the moment you've been waiting for. You made it to the infamous. How does it feel to be back in parentheses, insert city, parentheses. How does it feel to be back in Las Vegas? She's going to say it's horrible, I'm sure.
Feels great. It feels like
shit.
we're home. My first,
Oh, shit.
I think, well, counting the Contender Series, I think my first 10 fights were here in Vegas. So feels so good to be home. Feels good. The short fight week in Boston, or in Abu Dhabi, I was there like 17 days early. Boston, I was there Sunday. Miami, I was there Monday. Today we got in, or this week we got in Tuesday afternoon. Fight week's gonna feel nice and short, and yeah, I'm very excited to be back in Vegas.
And speaking of the Contender Series, a lot of people, when you talk to them about the Contender Series, they think about your performance when Snoop Dogg was on. The show has come a long way since that performance. So what do you make of the show's progress and all the talent that's coming out of the show?
Guys, the questions, the deeper into the video we go, the deeper into the interview we go, the questions get dumber and dumber. It's like, how do you feel about this? Then this, then this, then this. So now he's getting asked, how do you feel about the city of Vegas? And now, how do you feel about the Contender Series? It's cool. It's going great. A lot of talent. Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. I mean, the cage is right there. When I was fighting, I think it was actually in here as well, but the whole production of it is.
Right. What do we got next for how he feels about
improved a
whatever?
ton, so, oh no, when I fought in the Contender Series, that definitely wasn't here. Yeah, no, it came a long way.
And back to,
Right,
you,
over to
your career,
941.
Marabs, but we got options after.
If it were to be Umar, could you think that would be the closest thing to another Conor Khabib build-up?
Absolutely. I mean,
All right, you and Umar, would that be like Conor Khabib? Not even close. What? For those of you who don't know, Conor and Khabib sold like 2.4 million pay-per-view buys. This is the most pay-per-view buys ever sold in the UFC. It's almost double what the second closest is, which is like maybe 1.6. It's well, like a little under 1 million more, not double quite, but double or more than most pay-per-views, or big Conor McGregor pay-per-views, more than double. When you have some pay-per-views that are 1.2, 1.4, double that, and that was Habib McGregor. Or yeah, Habib McGregor. Sean O'Malley and Umar will never do that. I'm sure Sean will say, of course we'll never do that. I think he already said his answer. Let's see.
I mean, Irish, Russian. I mean, it's there for the big fight.
Last one for me.
He did say, yeah, definitely. So delusional.
You mentioned Ilya. Ilya has a big fight with Max Holloway coming up. How do you see that one going at UFC 308?
Honestly,
It's
I
an
think
okay
Max
question.
might piece him up. Ilya's very, very skilled. Ilya's, up there, top 3 pound
All
for
right, we
pound.
go to 1020 now.
How different was this camp compared to Aljamain Sterling? Both teammates, both like to wrestle.
Both teammates both like to wrestle. You answered your own question. It was probably very similar, except we know that with Aljamain Sterling, Sean O'Malley's camp, he didn't wrestle or jiu-jitsu that much. Actually, the previous 6 weeks before the fight, because he had an injury and he couldn't wrestle. So he's going to just talk about, I was injured, so I didn't wrestle that much in camp. But with Merab, this was a good camp. Why do we need to know about his camp? We already know.
That camp, you were injured with a rib, so like you were kind of limited on the wrestling. Like, how different was this camp?
I would say that camp, I would give it a D plus. Like, I was able to still run. I was still able to do my hill sprints. I was still able to hit mitts. I was able to get in good like kickboxing shape. But as far as like jiu-jitsu shape, grappling shape, there was, from 6 weeks out to the fight, there was none, zero.
we go.
So that camp wasn't necessarily great. This camp, I'd give it an A. I think this camp's been fucking excellent. And
Yeah, excellent. All right, we skip ahead to 1113. I'm excited for this question. What's it gonna be?
How bummed were you to not have Tommy compete on the Contender Series?
Yeah, that's
He asks, "Are you sad one of your teammates didn't compete?"
sucks, man. He'll grow from it. It'll be a learning.
It sucks. He'll grow from it. It'll be a learning experience. I don't know who Tommy is. Was he the one who like wouldn't fight? I don't know. Don't know him. Don't care. All right. What do we have next? 1137. This will be a good one. This will be a good one, guys.
And finally, for me, was there a Mexican fighter in the UFC that you liked watching, or that inspired you? Inspired you?
This reporter, so he can't even finish his question. It's inspired you. Is there a Mexican fighter in the UFC that you like or that inspired you? Or is your favorite? It's so weird. I get that it's the Mexican themed event, but it's like, are you gonna be like, who's your favorite African American fighter? Who's your favorite black fighter? Who's your favorite Asian fighter? Like, if you put it like that, it sounds so weird. It's the same thing. Who's your favorite Mexican fighter? But since it's UFC Noche at the Sphere, it's okay. It's just a dumb question. Who cares? And here Sean doesn't. He just starts to think, and he thinks, yeah, Calvin Gastelum's cool. His fight with Izzy was cool.
A Mexican fighter. I just think of Kelvin Gastelum off the top of my head. His fight versus Izzy, that was the first one that came to my mind. But Mexicans are just they're always fun. They're always in a good fight. They're always tough. They're hard as fuck to knock out. And but yeah.
Sean over here. Sean, going back to Contender Series.
Oh God, we're going back to the Contender Series. Here we go.
Obviously, some fighters get built up outside the promotion and then they come over and it's a big deal. What benefit do you feel you've had, specifically pretty much growing up under the UFC banner?
Are you, dude? Fighters typically get grown outside of the UFC, and then they come here and get built up. But you got built up under the UFC banner. Sean O'Malley fought in the regionals, and then Sean O'Malley went to PFL and built himself up in the PFL. Granted, he didn't have a lot of fights there, only I think really one sick spinning kick KO fight, and then he went to the Contender Series. But it's like, what benefit do you have like being in the UFC sooner than these other fighters being in other smaller promotions? What do you mean, what benefit does he have? It's the biggest promotion in the world. He gets more people watching, which boosts everything in his favor. Instagram followers, popularity, pay-per-view buys. Why would you? I'm not even going to, I'm going to skip to the next one. I'm not even going to let you hear his response because it's obvious. He's just going to say, yeah, obviously it's better being promoted in the UFC than in some regional fight scene in Montana. These questions are so good. So good. 1247. Let's see. I think this will be the one. This will be a good one.
UFC.
I've got a couple more for your reaction. Do you think Merab should
Got a couple more for your reaction.
have to give you back your jacket if you win?
He doesn't have it. He borrowed it because I gave.
This reporter thinks that Merab actually stole his jacket and went off with it. That's theft. I'm going to play it black. Hang on. Listen to him.
To give you back your jacket. I've got a couple more for your reaction. Do you think Merab should have to give you back your jacket if you win?
He says, do you think he should have to give it back? Like he's convinced Merab has it by saying he should have to give it. Dude, I don't know. I think he has to be serious. I don't think he's joking. He thinks Merab has Sean's jacket.
He doesn't have it. He borrowed it because I gave it to him. His nose looks like a fucking coat hanger. I was talking shit to Aljo. That's the thing. You clearly see in the video that I take my jacket off.
All right, we skip ahead. 1317.
And then the last one, just for the record, do you feel you're more Mexican than Merab? Headlining Mexican Independence Day.
100%. I have a Mexican family.
Thank you.
Sean, right over here. In the
That
past
reporter's
years,
like, I really needed to know if he was Mexican. I just needed to know since 2017 when I first saw him jump into the Contender Series. I needed to know if he was Mexican. Yes, I finally got that answer. Yeah.
How would you describe what being a champion has been like? Winning the title in Boston, defending it. Just how would you describe what that's been like?
What's it like being the champion of the world in the most popular fighting promotion, the baddest man at 135? How does that feel? How do you think it feels? Terrible.
I before I was champ, I told myself I need to live like I'm the champ. As far as what I'm doing, training, what I'm doing outside the gym, I need to live like a champion if I want to become a champion. So I've been doing it for a while. Same shit.
All right, we skip ahead to 14 seconds.
Like
or
lifestyle
minutes.
for the most part.
Back last September, you got to go up to Missoula and celebrate with the Grizzly football team. Got to
Oh, this is great. We're going to get into Montana. How does it feel about your hometown? This is a great one.
be celebrated at the
A
stadium
couple ones, actually.
in front of thousands of fans. Can you just describe what that was like being celebrated in Montana in front of a stadium like that?
Yeah, that was cool. That was felt good to go back home and be celebrated. Montana's, I'm born and raised there. It kind of molded me as a fighter, so yeah, it was cool.
Had no idea. Had no idea it would be cool to go back to your hometown as a superstar. No idea that would be cool.
And then not long after that, you did the Town Pump event in Helena. Like, do those events mean more because it's where you grew up when you look back at it?
No, they mean nothing. My hometown celebrating that I'm a world champ. It means nothing. It means nothing.
Yeah, it's funny just going to places like my hometown and seeing high schoolers stand in line to get a picture with me. Like I would have been standing in line to see someone that had made it from hometown. So I saw a lot of my younger selves in those guys. So yeah, it was cool.
And then your siblings have been a big part of your life as well. And, we're going to be speaking with them tomorrow.
All right. You can see Sean's face here. We're going to, after the Helena questions, Montana, we had to know, was it great going there? He's going to get asked about his brother. And I don't know if his brother is that dude on his podcast, that random dude on the couch. But I guess his brother had some drug issues. And now he's sober and is in Arizona with Sean. And the reporter, I think, is trying to maybe get a little personal here, but it just turns into more boring questions of Sean saying, of course I'm happy for my brother.
But Michael has obviously had kind of a remarkable story in his own right and kind of a path for himself. Like, as his younger brother, what's it like kind of seeing the trials and tribulations your older brother has powered through to kind of get to where he is now?
Yeah, right. I thought that.
Remember this. He asks, what's it like seeing his trials and tribulations? He's going to repeat the same question in a second.
He was definitely going to be dead. I lived in Arizona for like 8 years before he did. He was back in Montana, addicted to drugs, like way off on the deep end. And I thought that dude, I completely emotionally was not attached to him at all. Like I thought he was going to die eventually. So for him to get sober, move to Arizona and like be a part of my life now is it's inspiring, honestly, because addiction's no joke. And he's, battles it every day, but he's winning. So it's cool to see.
How proud are you of him and how much does he mean to you just knowing his path?
How do you feel about his trials and tribulations? How proud are you of him? Same question. It's like the reporter's trying a second time to get something controversial or get something, I don't even know what word I'm thinking of. Again, guys, I'm already at the edge right now. I'm about to jump.
Very proud of him.
Last one for me. Obviously, you talked about Tommy McMillan. Just what can you say about him as a fighter? Another up-and-coming Montana guy. Just how would you describe just his ability as an undefeated pro?
I'll tell you right now what he's gonna say. You could have interviewed me, honestly. How do you feel about a guy from Montana, just like you? That state you grew up in. He's an up-and-coming fighter. How do you feel? Sean's gonna say, "Oh yeah, great, good for him. I wish him the best." Let's see if he says that. I doubt it.
Yeah, Tommy's very durable, very fucking skilled, good mindset, and I'm excited to watch his career play out.
Thanks, Sean.
Sean.
All right, this last 47 seconds. It needs to be a good one. It needs to be good.
Said you ranked Ilya top 3 pound for pound. Where do you feel that you rank in your own pound for pound?
Number 1, of course.
All right, then who's number 2?
John Jones. He's got fucking dogs. He shoots guns. No, I'm jokes.
That was a funny response. Like Sean knows that he's in on the inside joke with Dana. He knows the online MMA community right now.
Sean, one more, please.
Yeah.
Who would be your dream artist to perform a concert at the Sphere?
Who cares? Who cares what artist to perform at the Sphere? It's probably some random rapper. Who cares?
Damn, dream artist. That's tricky because there's so many, but I know that Mexican OT is coming out to support, so that's dope.
Hey, great choice. Thank you, man.
Yep. Peace.
All right. Well, that was the we made it. I made it. I don't know how many of you are still here. If you're here, thank you. Yeah. Great round of questioning. I'm sure he was asked a bunch of other super amazing questions in all of his other interviews this week, but I am not going to watch them. Except yeah, I'm not going to watch them. All right. Thanks guys. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.